All right. I got I got some updates for y'all. There's a couple things I'm going to share in a moment on what's going on in the world and what it means to you as a individual here. So it's 2025, right? We just got New Year. And some of you have been preparing for the year. Some of you have not been preparing for the year. But this video will help you get prepared for the year and what's going on with both the world and the worldview and where we're at collectively, and then for you as individuals. So I want to just give a little context here as well before I dive into the exact things I want to show, because I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to give you some uh, really just mind-blowing stuff. It's really it it will make you like you won't be able to unsee it, and I'm excited for that. But it's going to be something where it's going to cause you to have a moment of presence and a moment of realizing, whoa, this is where we're at. So I started the new year yesterday with jumping in a frozen lake, and this is one of the crazy things that I like to do is find people local to me, build local community. And on New Year's Eve, I was invited to a really cool party, and I had some really awesome in-depth chats with people that are focused on locally building community here in Minneapolis, and not giving into this impulse, right? We all have this impulse of like, oh, I want to go somewhere else where it's easier, right? The grass is greener elsewhere. Like you look at the state of Minneapolis right now, and it's not very good. But there's all the seeds of potential all around. And I look at the city as a reflection of what's going on inside myself, inside with my family, inside my communities I'm part of. And we have so much potential. So let's make 2025 the year we maximize our potential. So I want to get into now the main point that I'm making this video for. It's about genuine change. Genuine change. What I mean by that is change is that I know deep down you want to change and you want to grow. You want to make more money. You want to improve your relationships. You want to be happier. You want to have more of your time spent laughing and enjoying. You want to be more present, right? You want to be in less of a rush. You want to be less anxious and worried. You can have less fears. But you don't get there just by wishing it to be so. You get there through genuinely changing yourself. And at the end of this video, I'll give you some tools that you can use in a whole system by which you can start to really unpack all the bullshit that you've been holding on to that's preventing you from changing. But I got to give this context because it's just so important. Okay. So I'm using this cool streaming service. We have a podcast we do every Sunday, and then every Tuesday we do X Spaces with the Self Perfector group, and it's awesome. So I got this new like streaming software. Okay, this is what I want to show you. Let's kick it off with this. I'm going to show you a couple clips. First things first, I want to show you how good the AI is getting. Because a lot of people are like, oh, AI, okay, AI is not going to take my job. AI is not going to be that disruptive, right? People think that. Or people go, oh, well, yeah, AI is okay, but I'm a graphic designer, right? And as a graphic designer, AI, doesn't get the hands right or something, right? So people are sometimes in denial about this. I want to show you something, and then I'm going to give you some context as to what you're about to see right here. Okay. So without further ado, let's look at the screen. This is from X. This was posted 6 hours ago. Okay. So what we're looking at here is, I'll do it up full screen. Look at this. This is police body cam footage of an accident. Here's the thing. This is not real. Look at this. Look at that. And it's not graphic, so don't worry if you're watching this. Just showing like a fake car accident. Look at that. This was literally made by an AI with a prompt of words. Okay, let's look at how do I unfull screen this? That's a word here. Let's look at this one. Walking through the streets. Look at that. Okay. Let's look at one more. Protest scene. Oh, here we go. Look at this. That looks freaking real. That looks freaking real. That is incredible. Okay. So why am I showing you that? Okay. I got 2 kids at home. I got a wife. I care dearly about them. And I care not just about them, but I care about all the kids right now that are going to inherit this world that we're creating every single day. That AI, can you just imagine this? Can you imagine some AI creates some footage of some protest, and then at that protest, let's say 2 different groups of different races start yelling really vile things at each other, and then a fight breaks out. And now that clip gets put onto social media and then goes viral. And so the impact happens. Then later, sure, community notes comes in and goes, this wasn't true. This was actually faked. Okay. Doesn't matter. The effect still happens, right? Because people see it and then they get outraged. As well as look at this other angle on it. Everything you see online now, including probably this video of me, in the back of your mind, you start to have that doubt of, is this real? Or did someone make this with an AI? Okay. You might think, what does this have to do with yourself and changing? Is one of the most important parts of you changing and creating a better life for yourself is being aware of what's happening in the world and seeing trends of what's happening. We have now entered the world where the news, everything you see online, videos, images, all of that is now able to be created by an AI. We're entering a world I call a post-trust world. Post-trust meaning you within yourself can't necessarily trust what you're seeing online, and online is able to be used at a way higher scale to manipulate your trust. What does that do to people? We're in the middle of a mental health crisis, they say, right? Like, especially guys are, lonely. Guys are committing suicide at like an unprecedented rate. You have, 30% of people, it's probably more, but 30% of people taking medications on, with unknown side effects. It's a brewing storm. Do you see it? I'm showing you that example of the AI because it's just one of the most recent developments I've seen recently. Can you imagine in 5 years what it will be? Can you imagine in 10 years? If you have kids right now, like my son is 2.5, when he's 12.5, when he's 20, can you imagine when this stuff is so good? It literally is constantly creating a stream of information for you based on your preferences. You have unlimited movies, unlimited news, unlimited entertainment from these platforms of this AI. And this is what Elon, Sam Altman, Jeff Bezos, all of them are teaming up to create. Now, it could be used for some really cool things. Sure. If I had an infinite stream of awesome movies and entertainment and music that knew my preferences and could make me the coolest sounding music ever, sure, that sounds entertaining. Like, I use the app Suno, and my wife and I like to make music, and our son is learning how to use it. Cool. That's fun. Okay. But I'm talking about the real purpose of what we're here to do and what's happening in the world. That's what I care about. So I want to give you one other thing here. I saw this today on X. All right, Elon. And if you haven't been following what's been happening on X, you're seeing the system collapse in front of our eyes. So, okay, you got Elon. He just posted this. He replied to someone else. Okay, so some of you don't know, right? There was an attack in New Orleans and then at the Trump Tower in Vegas, both within about 24 hours. It could even be in less time. But, okay, the guy who did the New Orleans and the guy who did the Las Vegas attacks were trained at the same place that the other guy who did that second attempt on Trump's life. They were all apparently trained here at Fort Bragg. Okay. I don't know. I don't see community notes on this, fact checking it, saying it's wrong. And so there, you also have this happening now. Okay. It is time in 2025 to get your head out of the sand. It is time in 2025 for us to break the matrix and really create something we've never created before. The average person right now, and yourself watching this, you know that the system's broken, and you know deep down you don't trust the system. And by the system, I mean mainstream media, I mean the economy, I mean the culture. All of it is broken. It's getting fragmented and it's falling apart. And here's the thing: nobody from the mainstream is able to propose a solution. Here's proof. You have Trump, right? You had all these people pumped about Trump. I mean, he won the popular vote here in America. Whether you like him or don't like him, he was representing this like populist movement of like, okay, it's for the people. Yeah, we the people in America, for the people. Now, literally right after Christmas, you saw a fraction in that movement. You saw the big tech people who are very much for legal immigration, bringing in people to basically build the super AI. And then you saw the other half of the movement, let's say, or it's probably the majority of the movement, was pissed about that because they're like, oh, wow, you guys don't actually care about making America great. And it was this total fraction. So even Trump and Elon, who might seem cool to a lot of people, even them, right? People are starting to see, oh, wow, they didn't have a solution. And then here's another angle from it. You have Make America Healthy Again movement, which I love. I'm a big fan of a lot of that movement. But then you have Casey and Callie Means, who are, speaking out about metabolic health and all this stuff, which I think a lot of what they say is pretty cool. But then you have another guy, Jack Cruz, who I also think he brings up some cool point, straight up attacking Callie Means, thinking that Callie Means is coming in there to basically co-opt the movement, which maybe he is, maybe he isn't. It's not the point. My point is you have these movements that people will get really excited about in the mainstream, but because there's no guiding principle to it that all the members can agree on, it just fractures. And then you have all this infighting. This is the world and this is the culture that we're in right now in 2025. And if you think you can just get by just with your side hustle, just doing e-commerce, right? Just doing your thing where, you're going to be fine, your local little pocket. Newsflash, the culture around us is crumbling. What do we need? What do we need collectively? We got to build a genuine trust in ourselves. And you don't do that just through a simple decision of making your affirmation of, yes, I trust myself. This is the year of trusting myself. And you put a little Post-it note on your mirror. It doesn't work like that. The self-trust, and earlier in the video, I was alluding to some tools you can use to actually now change yourself. So again, let me just ground this all. You have the culture, society right now is fracturing in a lot of different ways. And then you have the elite are going to keep proposing solutions to it. Right now, you have Elon Musk and Larry Ellison from Oracle are talking about why now this is a case for why we need more drones and mass surveillance, because that way we can prevent attacks. Is that good or bad? We got to talk about that, right? And then you have the World Economic Forum and these other groups that are more influential in terms of financial policy and business. And they are proposing things like a central bank digital currency. And so your time where you could just get by without looking at world events is over. You want to be prepared for the world we're heading into. Because, for example, if you had cancer and you could know about it right away so you could prevent it from getting worse, wouldn't you want to know? Or are you the kind of person who says, no, I don't want to think about it. And then later when it's stage 3 cancer, then the doctors, when you're feeling sick every day, your energy is really low. And then you realize, oh shit, I have cancer. Dang, I wish I knew 3 years ago. This is the cancer that's forming in society, is that we all don't trust each other and we all don't even trust ourselves. We don't trust ourselves to change. Here's more proof. Last year, 365 days ago, whatever, we were going into 2024. I bet you set some form of a New Year's resolution or a goal. And I bet you didn't hit it. And on some level, you probably feel bad about that. And on some level, you can probably justify it. You can probably justify saying, oh, well, this didn't happen, or, oh, I actually changed my goal or whatever. I'm only making this video for the people who are willing to be self-honest about it, that you made an attempt and it didn't fully work. Here's the good news. You can change yourself, learn from the failures, create a feedback loop, and then have a system so you can develop every single day, and then you can actually achieve your goals. Like for me, I had 6 main goals and I hit 4 out of the 6. Pretty happy about that. There's 2 that I set that were very big, and I'm okay that I didn't hit them, but I need to learn certain lessons. And so I spent the past 72 hours, really the past 3 days, really looking at these points. Now that I'm clear on it, I'm confident to speak out about it. But I work through my own stuff before I start to share. That's what makes my videos different than other people, right? I'm not here to just share theory. I'm here to share what actually has worked in my life and what I see is happening in the world. And I'm sharing from a point of strength in that I've run a local community for the past 4 years. I have a local clubhouse that meets at my home. I have built a network of families around myself who hang out with my wife and kids because we're not putting our kids in school. We have our own version of an education process for our kids in the local community. And I've built a community around the world, self-perfected, that has over 2,000 members. We're almost at 3,000. And we had a huge event last year in Miami. I'm saying this because I know how to change myself. I know how to help others change too. So I'm going to give you 2 things by which you can use as a guiding North Star to get through this chaos that is coming for everybody. That chaos, those videos I showed you, the AI generated body cam footage, it's just a matter of time before that's used, again, to stoke confusion in the public. You want to be able to be stable. So when everyone else around you is running around like a chicken with their head cut off, or they're nervous, or they get laid off from their job due to AI, or they're scared because now robots become a thing, and then there's robots walking on the streets, and it's like, they're part of the police force or whatever. That's happening right now. You have Optimus bots that Elon Musk is talking about. He wants to have 3 to 5 for every single human on the planet. And that's just one company. Okay. I'm not saying this to be some doom and gloom person, because I'm not a doom and gloom person. I refuse to entertain that. But I am saying this because if you feel some fear about this, good. Like, you can work through that fear and you shouldn't live in fear. But you got to be honest about the situation of where the world is at. So here's the 2 things that I see that over the past 4 years I have used that have helped me every single day to develop into a person I didn't even think I could become. I thought it would take me probably 20 years to achieve some of the goals that I've already achieved. First, daily writing process. There's a process called the Destiny I process. I'm not going to give you the whole breakdown of all of it because it's a course you can go through, but I'll give you some benefits of it. Imagine every day you woke up and you had a guaranteed time where you could get real with yourself, real time, and basically script out your life. But then you can also write out and get out all the garbage you've accepted for the past 10, 20, 30 years of your life, depending how old you are. Okay. So imagine every single day you can process through your mind. You can take the stuff that's keeping you stuck. You can get it. You can see it first and then actually let it go and then commit to a new way of living. And then guess what? You'll be tested. Welcome the test and embrace the test, because then you can transcend the test and then you don't keep recreating the same problem. Let's say you and your spouse keep bickering over something, right? And you think it's her fault because she keeps doing something wrong. And deep down, you're like, I think it's her fault, right? Doesn't matter. You could tell her all day long it's her fault. She might even change it, right? Here's the thing. You're co-creating it with her. So for an example, what you could do is you could write out for yourself exactly how you've been creating that pattern since you were a kid. Could be with your first friends you had. Could be miscommunication you had with your siblings or your parents. That's still playing out to this day. You had your first ever girlfriend, right? And she broke your heart, or you broke her heart. That's still affecting your relationship today. And I don't care how much self-work you've done. I don't care if you've done shadow work. I don't care if you meditated, any of that. You're still running a script within you. That's how it works as a human. You have programming. Whether you like it or not, it's the case. Writing daily with this specific process. And if you're interested in it, you can reach out to me and I'll send you, there's a free course on it. I can give you a whole bunch of information on this. This is for the real ones. This is for those who care about self-perfection, not just self-development. Self-development gets you only so far. It's like you're moving in the slow lane. Self-perfection allows you to transcend the entire old game you were playing and then come to the real level game, which is the game of life that's here and us sorting out the world together. And the good news is you can make a lot of money doing that. So if you solve a problem for 1 billion people, that's the best way to become a billionaire. And if your goal isn't that big, that's fine, right? But if you want to make at least, 100K a year, 200K a year, I can show you how to do that because I've done it for myself. So writing is a key part of this. It's like self-therapy every day, and it freaking works. And I set aside about 30 to 40 minutes every single morning to do this process. And it is one of the most important things I've ever done. It's helped me to become the best dad I can be, the best husband I can be, the best businessman I can be, and all that. There's one other thing. It's a tool that I talk about often, but it's a way, it's a technology by which you can reprogram yourself at the unconscious level. What does that mean in simple terms? Is that you have automatic thoughts that come up every day, right? Probably even watching this video, your mind trailed off like 3-4 times. You have thoughts of doubting yourself. You have thoughts of fear, and you're probably really good at masking it. Like you can mask a lot of this with positive thinking, but it doesn't mean it's going to go away. Again, it's like if you had cancer and you just try and positive think your way out of it, instead of realizing like, wait, why is it there? What am I holding on to? What am I still allowing in my life? Do I need to change my diet? Like, do I need to get toxins out of my body? Like, we got to actually look at the problem. So here's the best part. When you actually dive into the problem, you can understand what programming created it. You can reprogram that, and then you don't have to create the problem again. The solution will actually be in there. So real success is you solving the problem so you never have to face that problem again. That's the level of change I'm talking about with both of these tools, right? So you got the writing, and then you got the actual reprogramming. Now, the reprogramming tool, you can also use it to program your goals. So for example, going into 2025, I have like 8 main goals that I know I need to hit and I know I can hit. And then I have all the different micro steps along the way by which I can hit these goals. Guess what I spent 2 hours doing this morning? Me and my wife met about it yesterday, and then we came up with a whole list of what we're doing with the programming and the reprogramming. And it's phenomenal because now on an automatic level, like muscle memory level, my thoughts are already in alignment with that. That's power right there. Okay. So in conclusion for this video, right? If you want genuine change, we should connect. I have local communities in 32 cities around the world. We do hangouts every single week on Zoom. I can introduce you to some of the best people in the world. I have a podcast. There's so many different ways you can get plugged in. But if you're watching this and you have the self-honesty to see you really do want to change and you really do want to be that best version of yourself, and you want to make the most money you've ever made this year, you want to have the best relationships you've ever had this year. Maybe you're going to have your first kid this year, but you're a little nervous about it, right? Let's connect, because one-to-one, if I can actually understand your situation and what you're going through, I can point you to the right tools that can make a lasting, genuine change. Okay? So I'm wishing you a great new year. But if you're not ready to see this yet of the state of the world, I'm going to encourage you, really start to go into it. Start to look at what's happening in the world. It might seem negative. You might want to avoid it. But I'm telling you, when your worldview is very effective and you see what's going on and you have the tools by which you can reprogram yourself, that creates the perfect recipe by which you can start to be a force for real, genuine change in the world. And the best part is it comes with all the cool benefits you want anyway. I know you want to have a happy life. I know you want to enjoy yourself. I know you want to have more money, so much money you don't even know what to do with it, right? I can show you how to get there by doing the right thing. It's not easy. All right. I know everyone's supposed to, people only want to do easy stuff. It's not true. People want the things that actually work and can change yourself. Okay. So if you're interested in that, let's connect. All right. Cheers.